Hey, good evening. I hope you can hear me. I hope you heard the piano. Hope you're great wherever you are. Welcome to Hohner Live number 9. That's amazing. Almost 10. Um, Short notice on Facebook, I did a little post. Please let me know if everything works out well in the chat. We already have people from Russia, which is amazing. Hi from Georgia. Hey, I'm here in Hamburg. Last week we already did a stream with Howard Levy, which was amazing. I already told you about that in the last stream, but I had the great opportunity to invite him to Hamburg, and he came to the music school and gave a workshop. That was the first day for him. Everybody was amazed. Not all of them, not all of the students knew who he was, but after that, everybody wanted to have an individual lesson with him, and he took it very seriously and gave everyone a lesson. That was great. And yeah, on the next day, on Wednesday, we played a concert together, which was amazing for me to stand on stage with Howard Levy. And it's also a weird feeling, like we played some of my tunes and some of his compositions, and just to hear another person playing your songs, that's a weird feeling. I didn't have that too often. And also just standing on stage and witnessing how he plays harmonica and piano at the same time. And Mark is already asking if we have recordings. So yeah, we definitely have them. We even have video recordings of the whole thing. And I'm still talking about the mix with the guy who did all the stuff, and then we will upload stuff on YouTube. I think there's good stuff in there. But yeah, great program. People were great. The audience was great. And yeah, a lot of rehearsing too with the new pieces. And it's, of course, weird if okay, I'm playing a solo and after me, Howard is also playing a solo, or like the other way around. So I definitely played differently from other concerts. And on the last day, he gave some more lessons, individual lessons, and in the evening we did the live stream, which you can also check out on the stream on the YouTube page by Hohner. So yeah, my idea for today was to talk about one of my own compositions, which is rather maybe easy to play. It's on the C harmonica. There are not many bends. It's a bossa nova tune. There are maybe just like 2 overblows, but only the B section. I think there would even be a workaround to exclude them, so we could check that out. But I'm also looking forward to your questions, so if you want to ask anything harmonica or music related, you can do that in the chat, and I will try to answer everything. But yeah, so this little piece, I already played like the first 2 chords of the introduction of it, which are F major 7 and B flat minor 7, still with the F in the bass, so that's a pedal point. I'm playing the piece on my C harmonica, and it's written in the key of F. So this really was the first piece I ever wrote, the first jazz composition I ever wrote. And that must have been in 2010 or 2011 probably. So this piece is also on my first CD, which was released in 2013. I think we recorded it in 2012 here in Hamburg. This is where my first Hamburg connection came from. And I think I even wrote the chords of the B section with a trumpet player from here, who his name is Niels Wilker. You could check them out. So yeah, I hope you can hear the piano. Please let me know, and please let me know if it mixes well. These are the first two chords. Which is F major 7 and B flat minor 7 with the F in the bass. So we are playing in 12th position. Please let me know in the chat, have you ever played in 12th position on the C harmonica? That's the key of F. So the root note is your 2-hole half whole tone bend, 5-hole draw, and 9-hole draw. In the middle octave is like very, very sweet and bluesy, because you can play the A on 6-hole draw, which is the major third, but you can also bend it down a half step to get the minor third. So you have the best of both worlds. So in the lower octave, you have a lot of bends. Maybe you already played in the key of D minor on the C harmonica. So that's basically the same notes. So that's the parallel minor key of F major. So it's probably not too far away from something you already know. For all of you who are not familiar with this, I'm just going to write down the F major scale. Oh, okay, yeah, Jason Ritchie's video on 12th position. I think there might be great videos on 12th position by the late and great Chris Michalek too. I'm sure he has one for 11th, but also on 12th. I think his sound is very, very distinct in 12th position. That little vibrato. I think there's just something to it, like playing the 5-hole draw and the 7-hole blow. Of course, these are not notes that are bendable, but you can somehow like bend them like a quarter step, and that makes it very, very easy to get that kind of vibrato with the right amount of difference in pitch. It's basically just my tongue. Jason Ritchie has great songs in 12th position. Sweet Loving, I think. Which is a beautiful melody. And some other ballads. I think you could find some on some of the last pieces of the Carlos de Junco recordings. They are in 12th position, most of them. So let me write down the F major scale for you. So that's 12th position. So there's only one overblow included in the middle octave with the 6-hole overblow to get the B flat. So it's F, G, A, B flat, C, D, and E. 7 notes. It's nice to practice this with like different types of articulation and different groupings of notes. I mean, with this scale you have 7 notes, and you can of course play it in 7 and maybe group it in 2 plus 2 plus 3. And then you're already playing 7, which you probably never did before, or it's just an easy way to get into that rhythm. That's an option. That's something Howard also told in the workshop, I think. And also just doing like the regular patterns, from the piano. But not in groups of two. Hey, Roberto, great that you're here. Yeah. But you could maybe group it in groups of 3 notes. Definitely has another feel to it. And stuff like this just breaks up your phrasing in like every time signature you play in. Lodrovien. I don't know what that means. Hey, Anthony. So that's F major 7. And that's B flat minor 7 with the F in the bass. And this is basically a subdominant chord. It's the 4th from F. So it's F, G, A, B flat. And usually the subdominant chord in F major. Gotta move my hands around the microphone stand. Usually it would be major, but this is like a minor subdominant chord, which is like very popular in all kinds of music. Turned up the piano a little. Hope that's not too loud. So we know how to play in F major now. So let me try to like keep the F major here and just add the scale we need for the B flat minor 7 chord. Because now it's interesting to like compare these two chords, like which notes do they have in common, which notes do they don't have in common, which will definitely help to make your improvisation over this little introduction loop more interesting. Let me see. Let's just also think about this chord, the B flat minor 7, from F on. So the F is in common. Let me see if this is right. So yeah, hope this helps, like to compare the two. So the upper part, that's the F major scale. And the lower part, if you think about it from B flat on, it's the B flat Dorian scale. If you think about the scale starting on F, it's just the regular F minor scale, like the Aeolian mode. So it's basically just switching between F major and F minor. So these are pretty easy chords, which are used in pop music. Maybe not in songs or contemporary songs too often, but in older popular music. Also just going from the regular subdominant chord, the B flat major, to the B flat minor, resolving to F major, just to the one chord again. You heard that a million times. So that's something composers do. They land chords from the same key but from minor. So if you compose a piece in F major, you can also use chords which are included in the F minor scale, just like this subdominant chord, and it will sound good. So yeah, now it really makes sense to like look at these two and see like which notes do they have in common, which notes can you like play over both chords, and which notes do you have to change when the chord is moving. So let's start on the F, the two whole tone band. You can play that one over both. I mean, that's the bass note. Then the G. Works over both chords too. But it's definitely adding more color, right? So on the F major, it's adding an upper structure like. And also on the B flat minor, it's a 13 or a 6. Which is a beautiful little phrase. So now we get to basically the third. So of course. So for the people who are new here, this is the introduction to my composition called Light Flight. It's on my first CD, and I will also upload the sheet music and like the original backing track, like the original studio recording, just without the harmonica for you to play along to the Facebook group, link below. If you aren't part of that, you should. I'm uploading all the educational material which has to do with these Hohner live streams there. So then the 3/0 half step band. I will also play the song later to a backing track, but I will just play to something from iWheel Pro because I'm not sure if I'm allowed to include the original backing track in this lesson. So the B flat is actually like, it's an avoid note. It's part of the major scale, but if you hold it over the major 7, it always wants to resolve to the A. But the B flat works great over the B flat minor, of course. So you could practice that change going from the whole tone band on the F, playing A, to the half step band on 3, playing B flat over the B flat minor. Now we're on C. Works over both chords. It's the 5th of the F major, and it's the 9th of the B flat minor 7. So that's a nice color. Next note in the scale, 4-hole draw over the F major 7, the D. Adding a lot of flavor, that's the 13th. Going to the B flat minor. You want to play a D flat, so that's fall half step bend. Okay, last note of the scale. Playing E, the 7th, the major 7th over the F major chord. And actually, I mean, you can kind of also play it over the B flat minor 7. But only if it's like if it's played without the 7th. That's a nice sound. But yeah, usually if you really stick to the scale, you want to switch to the E flat, which is an overblow, the 4-hole. So it's really good to know, like, which notes do these two chords have in common, like any two chords you're playing over, and which ones don't. Because if you're improvising over this, you can make things more interesting, like considering this, playing one note for a longer time over the both chords, or really making the change of the chord clear by playing a note that one of the chords has, or one of the scales has, and the other one doesn't. So yeah, let me see. I will try to loop the introduction now, which is only like 1 bar of F major, 1 bar of B flat minor. Let me know about the volume and the relationship to this microphone here. Check, check. I think that should be fine if I play over this. It's pretty fast. Let me set it slower. That's F major 7, and that's B flat minor 7. I don't know how often it repeats. Okay, so I will set the desktop audio a little louder. So that's very melodic, and I'm trying to play very melodic ideas, not too rhythmically strong, just like listening to the changes a lot. Maybe only playing one note and like thinking about or listening to it and listen to how it changed the relationship to the chord. And then just playing around it, like what happens if you anticipate the note from above? What happens if you anticipate the note from below? And now I just did did it like chromatically. I was playing like I was focusing on a target note, and then I played the note that is half step above first, then the note that is a half step below first, and then I played my target note. Which is a great exercise. You can apply that to a lot of stuff you practice, and also arpeggios and stuff like that. Can really make stuff interesting. I don't know, like if you only think about like the F major triad. So there's me playing the F major triad, and before every note of it, of the 3-note arpeggio, I start out 1/2 step higher than the target note, and then play the note 1/2 step lower than the target note before I play the actual note that's part of the arpeggio. It's also great for your ear. If you're able to hear that, or even able to sing that, that's amazing. Something like that. That's the introduction of the song. And I talked about this for a long time already. Please let me know if you have any questions on this. Yeah, it's a beautiful introduction, and you can play over this. You can also, like in the concert, you can talk over this and like talk about the song. So yeah, this is like really the first piece I ever wrote back in 2011. I didn't have an idea like how to call these pieces. I actually sent it to my grandpa and asked him like, how would you name this song? And he said Light Flight, so that's why it's called like that. To show you the whole song, I didn't do this to this point. I would just play the whole melody for you now over this iWheel Pro thing. I also have the chords, which I can show you on screen later. So that's the introduction. And one more time. It's a little faster usually. Section. So that's the melody. Let me know how you like this. I still like to play this. I think we played this last week on Wednesday with Howard. He always, or most of the time, because he thinks like that, uses the G harmonica. So that's also another sound. Maybe what I can already do is like, let me just upload the sheet music for this to the Facebook group, so you can read along. For the other people who don't have access to Facebook or the group, I would just show the chords on screen. Let me see. Light Flight. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now it's in the Facebook group. Let me show you the chords. We can start to talk about the A section. So now there's a lot of stuff on screen. I hope this is big enough. If not, you should try to go into the Facebook group. I can also add you real quick if you don't have access yet. So we're talking about the A section, which is starting in the second line. The chords aren't actually too hard there. You only have the F major 7, then again the B minor 7 with the F in the bass, back to F major 7, and then like just a little chromatic bass movement going to C over E. So it's a C chord with an E in the bass, going down to D minor. That's the next line. But talking about the melody, in this case, I'm taking advantage of, just the ability to slide over the harmonica. I mean, it's already easy to do that with notes which are naturally on the instrument, but you can also include some of the bends sometimes, or even an overblow. This is something I made up some time ago. Hope I can play it, but this is only like sweeping around on the instrument. Stuff like that. And this one, this descending one, works great over that B minor 7 chord. It's actually a D flat major 7 arpeggio, descending. And I can write down the tabs now. So second line is that D flat major arpeggio phrase. This is the melody for the first line. The most interesting thing here is that little descending arpeggio. I mean, the first step would be being able to just play that little sweep, but without the bendings. So in that case, you would play a D minor arpeggio descending. And that's the great thing about the harmonica. You don't have to separate the notes by yourself. The harmonica itself does it already if you're switching breathing directions or switching holds. Yeah. So that would be nice to play this. Oh no, that's so hard. Play this little phrase. Descending and ascending. The most important thing is really just the motion. You just gotta think about the breathing pattern. Oh, 7-hole blow sticks. Da, blow, draw, blow. Blow, draw, blow. So it sounds fancy, but like the breathing is like very, very relaxed. And you just gotta think about the starting note and the ending note. They have to be in time. And the stuff in between will work out great then. because these are the only notes you can play in between playing a draw or drawing through the instrument, and not bending. It's just a breathing pattern. I'm not too much thinking about the notes themselves. And I think it's like the motion is like I'm moving both my head and the harmonica, but like in opposite directions. And of course, I mean, your embouchure has to stay firm, but like also loose to just slide over the harmonica. So that's a great exercise to start out with a descending or ascending D minor arpeggio without the bends, and then you can start to incorporate the bends. So you gotta find a resonance chamber for both, basically for the 6-hole half step bend and the 4-hole half step bend. And also you don't want to play the 5-hole draw too low, or you won't just want it to sound. I mean, your resonance chamber could also be like too low for the bendings, and then maybe no sound comes out from the 5-hole draw. And it's important to like just have it in your ear, and after that it's only the breathing thing and the pattern. So Marcus asking if I think more in terms of notes or in tablature. I actually think a lot in just regular notes and notation. But yeah, just because I teach a lot and do these live streams, and I don't know, people on the harmonica are also maybe more familiar sometimes with tablature. I'm very fast with that too. So yeah. So that's just switching between the D minor 7 arpeggio and the D flat major 7 arpeggio. So the whole thing resolves back to F major, landing on A, the 3-hole whole step band. Let me play the whole thing. And then I'm basically just alternating between the 2-hole whole step band and the 2-hole blow. Oh no. I'm adding a little inflection between these two. I'm exaggerating right now, but if I would write that out, so if the tablature is 2-hole whole step band to 2-hole blow, which is F2E. If I like put the little inflection I do into a slow downer or something, this is what this phrase becomes. I'm just trying to like imitate the stuff you can do in the middle octave, just going up a hole and playing that little ornament. But in the lower octave, you probably got to do it with a bend. Yeah. So that's the first line, the first 4 bars of the piece. And then the whole thing moves to D minor, using that C chord with an E in the bass. Which is a nice movement. It really makes sense because like the bass movement is easy. Do, da, dum, ba. And then it's like a 2-5-1. Do, da, ba. From G minor 7 to C major dominant, back to F major. So it's 3-6-2-5. Just 6-2-5-1. Yeah, sorry. Just the melody along with the bass notes. So that's very interesting, that little phrase. We're coming from that's the D minor. And then over the 2-5, the G minor and the C7, I'm playing a diminished arpeggio. Which is basically just the arpeggio of the C7 with a flatted 9th. So I'm adding a D flat, if you want to talk about theory. But basically it's only notes that are minor thirds apart from each other. And they resolve nicely to the F major. So these are basically just 2 nice ways to resolve back to F major in the A section. It's like that movement to B flat minor 7, and just the regular 2-5 with so C7 flat 9, playing that diminished arpeggio. It's just the second way to resolve back to F major. So that's 2-hole draw, 3-hole half step bend, 4-hole half step bend, 5-hole blow, 6-hole blow. That's G, B flat, D flat, E, and G. Actually, this is something which is very useful in a second position blues. Believe it or not. But if you're starting out on the 1 chord in G, if you're playing a jazz blues, in bar 5, of course, you go to the subdominant chord. In this case, that's the C chord. And then, most of the time, you have a D flat diminished chord in bar 6. And that's where you can play this arpeggio. And it really makes sense and makes the listener like follow through the chord progression really easily. Oh, that was bad. Let me do it again. So that was that little diminished pattern. So it's useful for blues. Just adding a little B flat at the 6-hole overblow in the end of every A section. That's the A section. I will play it for you again. There's a question by Bruce. I just picked up my old harmonicas again after 25 years, laying them aside. They were in cases in a closed bag the entire time. Are they still good, or should they be replaced? I mean, of course, they're in a closed bag, which is good, but probably, maybe they are detuned. You should check that out. Just picking a reference instrument. Maybe you have a piano or a keyboard, or can tune a guitar, and then you can check if they are still in tune. Because even if you don't play them, especially for such a long time, they can go out of tune. But yeah. Let me play the A section again for you. Melody for the second time is a little easier. And then we're in the B section, which goes to the key of E minor real quick, which is 5th position. Very comfortable for us. It's just the parallel minor of G major, 2nd position. So it's really nice to play solos over this. Although all these chords might seem a little complex for some of you, if you later just use the backing track and play over this, improvise over this, it will feel very good. I think so. It's just great fun to improvise over this. Okay, let's go into the B section. I'll play it again for you. Then we're back in the A section. So we're starting off the B section on that E minus 11th chord. Let me write that down. So the melody starts on A. And it includes 2 new overblows for us, the 5-hole overblow and the 4-hole overblow. So the 5-hole overblow, that's what we play over that D over E chord. So we're basically playing the 3rd of that. Let me see. That's E minor 7. There's the dark F major 7 over E sound, which is an E Phrygian sound actually. That's a very bright sound compared to that. The D over E is basically an E suspended sound. And we're playing, if you think from D, we're playing the 3rd with the F sharp, the 5-hole overblow. Or from E, it's the 9th. Another overblow. That's the 4-hole overblow, the E flat. Playing the 3rd of that B7 flat 9 chord. And then it resolves to C major. I gotta write down the melody for that. So that's the whole B section. Yeah. That's the B7, playing the major third with the 4-hole overblow. There's C major 7 to G major 7. Third line in the tabs link to the left. Oh, that was the wrong chord. Let me look at this. So we have to find like some way of like moving back to F major, after being in the key of maybe C major for a second. Yeah. And that B flat over C, that's also just a suspended C chord. It's a C dominant chord. Very, very bright again. It's nice, this little movement. These are like the last 4 chords of the B section. C over D, which is D suspended, D7. Then B flat over C, which is C suspended, to C7. That little chromatic movement gives it a lot of sense. There would be something which is nice to play along to these chords. Which is basically playing all the steps of the 2-hole. 2-hole draw, 2-hole half step bend, 2-hole whole tone bend, and then playing 2-hole blow. Oh, I gotta think. Or in the middle octave, you gotta start out on the 6-hole blow and then play the 5-hole overblow, 5-hole draw, 5-hole blow. So it's G, F sharp, F, and E. Oh, the 5-hole overblows. It's squeaking sometimes on this one. I have another C harmonica. I just really like this little pattern. There's a question by Thomas. It's German. I gotta translate. So he's asking, so to get a feeling for melodies, if I play them on the piano first, or if I sing them first before going to the harmonica. So before going to the harmonica, piano first or singing first? it's probably singing first. I mean, that's what I would also suggest and tell you, which might be a little better. Um, but yeah, like very very quickly after that, I'm already was singing them for the first time. I try to imagine myself either like playing the melody on the piano or playing the melody on the harmonica. So while I'm singing da do da do, I can either see my hands on the piano in my mind and I'm pressing down the keys, or I can see myself, visualize myself playing that on the harmonica and just having a very very clear impression of like how it sounds, how it would sound, how it would feel to play that. That's also important. If you want to practice without an instrument and visualize yourself playing, you gotta also like visualize or like feel in some way how it would feel to play this. I hope this makes sense. Because like a regular blow note, it feels different than an overblow or bend note or blow bend or anything else. Or if you bend one hole, it feels different than bending a 6-hole half step bend. And just trying to remember that feeling in some way and relate to that while you're singing. This will help you to like develop way way faster than you would if you wouldn't do that. Yeah. Probably a nice comment from my Galaxy 345. I don't understand Russian. I would love to. So this is the piece. Let me know if you have any questions. I can play it one more time for you. I can try to improvise over this. Playing to the iWhip Pro version. Maybe not the best thing to be inspired by. But as I said, I will upload the actual recording without me and maybe also with me to the Facebook group, linked below in the description box. And then you're playing with an actual band, and it feels great, and there's a piano solo, and it's a lot of fun. Then you definitely feel inspired to play a better solo. Right now, yeah, I'm just being careful. I don't know if I can use it, so I'm using iWhip Pro for this. Okay, let's just start. Let me know if you have any questions. So that's the introduction. Could be a little slower. This is 115 BPM. Oh, it moved back to the introduction. Sorry. But now I'm starting into A. that was the introduction again. Oh, another nice comment in Polish. I don't know Polish. I'm sorry, but it says Hamburger. Yeah, I'm in Hamburg. Yeah. Um, Marcus asking if I wanted to improvise over the B section of E, F, G, A, C, D, E. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yeah. Maybe you can try to rephrase that. But otherwise, if there aren't any more questions on this, I will just upload the recording and the backing track to the Facebook group below. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Also, the next live stream is going to be in 2 weeks. Next week, I'm going to record a new CD in Berlin. So there will be a CD with the pianist from my album Old Friend. So that album was all about like a lot of Toots Thielemans songs and like pieces he really liked to play. And we will play pieces by Stevie Wonder, but like great arrangements. So that's next week. So I can't stream from Berlin, but I'm streaming again in 2 weeks, which means the next live stream will be at 9 p.m. CET on November 21st. Please let me know if you have any ideas for that, any topics which I could talk about. And great that Marcos is here. Greetings from Berlin. Yeah. Hope the weather is a little better there. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Mark, and everyone else. Have a good evening or a good day wherever you are. Bye bye.